Welcome to Book Talks, and I am your host, Dimpho Makhada. Welcome to Season 2, and welcome to those who have joined us, and welcome to those who are new to our program. Today, we have a special guest with us. She is Emily. Please, let's welcome Emily. How are you, Emily?
I'm good and you. How are you, Dimpo?
I'm good. So please, Emily, tell us about who are you and where do you come from as Emily?
Okay, my name's Nkateko Emily Mabasa. I come from Alex Gomora. And basically, I'm a lover of life. I'm a person that just loves challenging myself. And I always look at ways to always see how I can do better and obviously make a difference in other people's lives in a way. Yeah, that's who I am.
Stepping into our first question, what type of cerebral palsy do you have? Can you please or briefly explain to our audience?
Okay, my type of cerebral palsy is from the waist down, meaning that my legs are mostly affected, but however, parts of my brain is also affected because cerebral palsy is a type of disability that affects the mind. So earlier in my life, I used to wear glasses because my eyesight wasn't good, but over the years it's gotten better, and my speech as well. People don't believe that I used to stutter, but I used to stutter. So, yeah.
And what were your challenges facing this condition that you have?
The challenges vary, and it depends on the environment and the people that I'm around. But given that I have always had support from my family, I've always taken it as a challenge and a way to teach other people how to treat people with disabilities, most especially how to respect me, because I definitely do respect myself. Yeah.
All right. And you're quite big on respect. Why is that?
Respect for me has to do with seeing the person first. You know, living with a disability, people always see that first, see the disability first, rather than seeing you as the individual first. And that's why I'm very big on actually telling people or showing people that actually, if you're going to speak to me, address me as an individual first.
True. You've recently started your MPO, or quite a few years back. Can you please tell us about Phoenix Alexandra?
Wow, Phoenix Alexandra, that's like so much, it brings so much joy to me.
Yeah.
You know, when I started it, I think it was just out of boredom, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I love dancing, I'm also a dancer. So I was like, okay, COVID-19, what do we do? We bored. Okay, then that's how it started.
Yeah.
With, offering a few dance classes to a couple of kids in my community, and rapidly it grew.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked back since, and it's been such a joy because so many kids come in with so many different personalities, backgrounds, and all of that, and I learn so much from them, but I also teach them so much, and that's what I enjoy most about it.
Okay. Knowing that the NPO offers a lot, as you've mentioned, dancing, there's also chess and poetry and singing, etc. How can young people be a part of your NPO? Sorry.
Okay, people can just look us up on the internet, on Google. So use Google Phoenix Alexandra and it will pop up. I've made sure that we're there, and just reach out to us via our website, which is www.phoenixalexandra.co.za, which is all one word, and contact us, and we will help you get involved and show you what we are all about.
Okay. So is there an age restriction to who can join?
At the moment, we only have an age for starting. So it's from 5. It used to be 6. But now I have this inquisitive 5-year-old who said to me, I'm not going to wait until I'm 6.
Yeah.
I'm joining right now. So we had to make an exception. I can't turn any child away.
Yeah.
It's important for me that everybody feels included, everybody feels valued. So to me, I was like, okay, we can make an exception. So it's from 5 until 17 for the young people, and then we also have young adults. So, yeah.
Okay. So I can join, basically. Some coming.
Teach you a few dance moves.
Thank you, thank you. With that said, right, what impact does it have on the community?
I would like to believe that it has a positive impact because most of the children lacked a lot of confidence, and in this world, in this lifetime, you need confidence to introduce yourself to the world, whatever industry that you're in or whatever you want to do. You have to believe in yourself before anything else. So that's what we teach them through the different activities that they do. We teach them the ability to be able to say no, so they have choice and saying, I don't actually want to do this activity, I can do this other one. So nobody is forced to do certain activities. The only one that we would say that is compulsory is the reading club, because we would like everybody to be able to read. I'm very big on literature. I'm also big on people being able to express themselves in form of words and actually just writing, or however, just reading out loud.
And also to someone looking at this and being like, I'm not a big reader, what are your words of encouragement to that person? Maybe they're not in Alexandra, maybe they're somewhere else, go to or go Limpopo. What are your motivating words to them?
Reading is a very important element in people's lives. For me, for example, I mentioned earlier how I used to stutter. For me to get to this point, I read a lot of books. I'm still a reader, and that has also inspired me to even write my own children's book. So you see how beneficial reading is, because it helps you with your speaking ability, with your spelling ability. So it has so many benefits. You shouldn't look at it as it's hard. You shouldn't look at it as I don't want to do it. Look at it as an opportunity to grow yourself and develop yourself.
Yeah. And how did you receive funding to start your NPO? Did you receive any assistance from government?
It was just like I said at the beginning, it was just like out of boredom. So we just started it, and then we registered, and we've been working endlessly to get people to come and board to fund us. But at the moment, we haven't gotten funding from the government, even though we have been applying. So we are hopeful, because we are about positivity. So basically, at the moment, we do with what we can, and we do have people that support us and donate, because we have a book club, like I mentioned earlier, that they read, and with that we've had people donate their used books over the years. And we also won with AFBOB, we won the Road to Literacy last year. So we got a trolley library from them, and that was awesome, because it's in all 11 languages that are available in South Africa. So none of the kids can say, I can't read this language because it's not my home language.
And what would your message be to anyone in government listening to you now about seeking funding?
Let's collaborate. Let's help each other, because I'm on the ground. I have access to people that they don't have access to. I know what's going on because I'm part of the community. And if there's anything they are willing to help with or can help with, let them come forth. But we are also still going to ask and keep, applying, because we never know who's going to take us seriously and say, okay, I'm willing to take your project and see it grow. Yeah.
True. You are a motivational speaker. You do motivational speaking. So where do you do most of your motivational speaking, and what are your topics focused on?
Okay, I started this when I was 16 in high school. So this was just public speaking to see, can I do this, kind of vibe. And over the years, I've grown, and I've done, talks for your dignitaries in the government and so forth. And I basically do it with the schools. I do it with anybody, companies, corporates that are saying we need to inspire our employers or workers or whoever to see the brighter side of life, because I think we see the brighter side of life. People with disabilities, I always say that we accommodate everybody else.
True.
Although they think they accommodate us. It's a very complicated thing, but I can, always say that it's never about us people with disabilities, but about the society in general, because they're a majority and we're just a minority, So I do my talks everywhere where they need me. I'm available. Yeah.
And now speaking about disability and what that means, how important is it for the public to know that to build an inclusive society, and what does it look like for you to actually hear someone, we're building an inclusive society?
Okay, that's a very beautiful concept, I will say. And I say it's a concept because it's not fully implemented yet. And this is also because people with disabilities don't avail themselves. I have to be honest. Sometimes you want to start something and you're like, okay, let's do this as a collective. And I will call some of my friends that are living with disabilities, but because they don't see the vision, they don't come forth, and then it makes it difficult if you are only one person. But then I've learned over the years that it doesn't have to take a whole village for you to make a difference. So I always do it by myself if need be. So hopefully people don't just continue making it a concept, but actually implement it in different ways, also by just asking, because a lot of the times people assume and don't ask the right question. I don't think there's a right question, but just ask. You can ask any question. I'm good with that. As long as you're asking, then I will know, okay, you're inquisitive, you actually want to learn, then I will answer you. I won't be angry. But if you're not asking and assuming, that's not where I have a problem.
True.
Yeah.
Now that we're talking about asking, you have joined an organization called Ask. And what is your role at Ask? And can you please highlight and tell us about Ask?
Ask is a non-profit organization. I always love giving back. So telling my story is a form of giving back and teaching people that people with disabilities have lives, number one, because people think, I don't know why they would think we don't have lives. But anyway, so I'll share my story, what my struggles were growing up, what it was like being a teenager with a disability, because I think that's one of the most difficult times of any human being's life, is being a teenager. And then after you've done that, you're good. And basically teaching them or showing them ways to interact better with people with disabilities. Like I said, my thing is, you ask whether you think it's a bad question or you think it's not a good question. I'm the judge of that. You just ask the question and I'll correct you later and say, but this is not how you're supposed to ask it. Ask it this way to be more respectful, but however you would have just asked, which is much more better than assuming and just staring. Yeah.
True. And now speaking about your achievements, I would like to hear about your achievements, or the most proudest achievement you have to date. What is it and how has it played a role in your life?
Sure, I have a lot of those, eh? We'd be here the whole day. But anyway, I am award holder for the Duke of Edinburgh International Award, which is called the President's Award in South Africa, which is for young people between the ages of 14 to 25. So now I'm part of the alumni because I'm not 25 anymore.
Yeah.
And that has been such a beautiful journey because I had to learn so much about myself, giving back because you have to do community service, and adventurous journey. I had to do a hike at one point for 80 kilometers. And my crutch broke. And I had a decision to make whether I should continue going forward or backwards. And I was like, I'd rather go forward and, be in agony rather than be in regret of why didn't I continue with the journey.
True.
It's taught me to believe so much in myself and have integrity, and saying that I did something when I really did do it. So those are one of my achievements. And obviously I'm an author of a children's book now, which is absolutely the best thing ever, because besides reading books, I can say I've written a book, which was quite a journey with my publisher, because what happened is they said to me, please give us 3 concepts. And I gave them 3 concepts and they kept all 3, so that I must be that good, So that was one of the most biggest things that I can say that I'm proud of. And last year I got awarded Unsung Hero by Sunday World. And again in December, just before the new year, I got awarded by Inside Education for my work with Phoenix Alexandra. So that has to be one of my proudest moments.
Sure. And now speaking about your book that we have here, that says Celebrating Our Differences, Embracing My Superpowers. Why that title?
I think it's simple. We are all different. Whether or not you are living with a disability, we all have things that we can or cannot do. You cannot deny that.
True.
And in that, there's things that I can benefit. Like there's perks to having a disability, according to me. And with my crutches, what I do is I use that sometimes as an extension of my arm if I'm lazy to switch off the lights. Because why should I stand up and go switch off the lights when I could just literally do that with my crutch? So that's why I chose to say, let's celebrate our differences and embracing my own superpowers, because I see a lot of my own superpowers in the fact that I'm living with cerebral palsy. There's a lot that I've overcome. There's a lot that I'm still going to overcome. But overall, there's a lot that I'm still learning about myself, that I even learned today about cerebral palsy, because I only thought that cerebral palsy was, you could only not see well and you could not talk, and also it could affect your walking. But I also found out that you can be hard of hearing as well, which is quite a surprise for me. So you always learn every day, and I appreciate that the most.
And the reception that people have given you, especially kids or people who don't have deformities like us, what has been the response from them?
It's been, I've gotten a review from a parent who has 2 daughters, and she said to me it sparked conversation in their household for them to be curious and ask questions and want to know more about people with disabilities, children with disabilities. And I think that's the first step that I've done, taking it away from being a concept, inclusivity from being a concept, and actually making it an action, for people to actually do something about it. Sparking conversation, that's an action, it has to start somewhere. So I think with those type of reviews and people being excited about it, I'm excited.
And where can people buy your book, and where is it available?
Thank you. The book is available on Macro Online. Take a lot. It's also available at the publisher's website, which is www.linguafrancapublisher.co.za. They can get it there, or they can just, when they Google Phoenix, they will get a contact number, and then they can get a signed copy from me. I'm that nice. I can also give them a signed copy.
Absolutely amazing. I just want to say thank you for coming onto the show, and thank you for inspiring me. I also live with a disability as well, but mine is hidden because it's in the ear. And embracing my superpower, I've learned that living with my difference and seeing how people interact with me on a daily basis does not only encourage me to be enthusiastic about where we're moving as a country, but for me to also acknowledge within my space that I have superpowers and I am brilliant, and I do spark room at the end of the day. So I thank you for this book, and hopefully my nieces and nephews, when I buy it, they actually ask me questions instead of just staring at me and assuming. So thank you very much. So my last question: where do we reach you, and and how do we find you on social media?
Okay, I'm available on Facebook, Instagram, and it used to be called Twitter, but it's called X now.
Yeah.
So basically, just Google my full name, Nkateko Emily Mabasa. It should pop up. I think I'm that famous now that if you just yeah. But otherwise, they can contact me on those platforms.
Yeah.
I'm not on TikTok. You asked me earlier why am I not on TikTok. I don't like TikTok, but
Alright.
anyway.
All right. It's fair, it's fair. At least you're on 3 platforms, so it's fair. It's fair. So thank you once again for your time and for your efforts and joining us on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure talking to you.
All right. As you have heard it, guys, from Emily, we have learned a lot. We are encouraged, and we're not in tears, but it's tears of joy now that we are about to cry. And hopefully you guys have learned more about cerebral palsy and what it does to our communities and people of disabilities. And hopefully you guys will respect, like she said, people living with disabilities, and join us once again next week when we have another episode. Peace.
The GCIS, empowering South Africans through communication excellence.